Building a business is a grind, but the best lessons, they come after the fact. The Après Business Podcast is where your host, Becca Babbix, sits down with entrepreneurs, marketers, and growth pros to talk about what worked, what didn't, and what they'd do differently next time. No fluff, no corporate jargon, just real, down-to-earth conversations about scaling, marketing, and standing out. So grab a seat, kick back, and let's dive in.
Hey, welcome to the Après Business Podcast. My name is Rebecca Babbitz. I am so excited for today's episode. I have my longtime friend, Mike Hogan, here who I'm interviewing. Me and Mike have many things in common, both obsessed skiers and mountain bikers, and we work together at a company called Ragnar, which is this really cool overnight running race relay series. And I'm so excited to catch up with Mike because he is now the CEO of Hagan Skis in North America. And it's been a couple years and me and Mike are just catching up. Mike, so excited to have you on the show. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Thanks, Becca. First of all, I'm honored to be here. So thank you very much for letting me have this conversation with you. It's going to be great to catch up. And as Becca mentioned, we have a past together that we worked together at Ragnar and did all sorts of fun things. We've skied together a few times as well. And I look forward to trying to do that more. But how did we get here? It's pretty amazing how life throws curveballs at you and changes all the time. Back in 2023, I was a passionate backcountry skier, and I sort of fell in love with this brand Hagan. There was a gentleman by the name of Mike Hogan who lived in Breckenridge, and I had purchased, 7 or 8 pairs of skis for myself and my family. There's 5 of us, so we each need at least 1.5 pairs of skis each. But I sent him a note. I said, hey, Mike, I love your brand. No one knows about it. I'd love to invest. I'd love to partner. I'd love to work with you in some way. And he emailed me back and said, hey, I have an offer. I'm selling the business. If you're interested, we should talk. And so that next Monday, I was up in Breckenridge skiing with Mike and his wife, Ava, talking about the business. And we came to an agreement in April of 2023, and fast forward, here we are in 2025 now, sort of in our second full season, and running Hagan North America, bringing, Austrian-made 100-year-old company that's, just in the backcountry space, goods to whoever we can find to deliver them to. But we've had quite a ride. It's been a fun experience. And it's fun doing something you love too.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I'm so pumped for you because I feel like this is what Mike Hogan is supposed to be doing in life. He is supposed to be running Hagan skis. And it's so cool to see all of your life experiences kind of come together. Okay. And fun fact about Mike, I didn't even know this until recently. I knew you for 8 years. And then we recently caught up on the podcast recording call. You told me you're a ski racer at the University of Colorado.
Back in the 80s, yes. I spent a couple of years ski racing out east at St. Lawrence University in upstate New York. And the end of my sophomore year, our athletic director came and said, hey, we're going to maybe be canceling the program, maybe going NAIA and maybe not being NCAA. And I called up Alan Ashley at the CU. I said, hey, I'd like to come ski in Colorado. Will you have me on the team? I'd never been to Boulder. I have never left Boulder since. So I've been here ever since, but I skied a couple of years, actually coached 1 year, but I was a Nordic skier. So I was skiing on skinny skis. It was right around the time where classic skiing was switching to skate skiing. So it was a really dynamic and changing time of Nordic skiing, but I've been a lifelong skier as you have as well. But skiing in college was the only way to go through college. I loved every minute of it. If I could do it again, I would.
That's so cool. Oh gosh. I feel like that's the gateway into backcountry skiing is the Nordic stuff, or maybe it's the other way around. But either way, you're super fast, super fit to do both, right?
No, I think you're right. I think if you look at what's happening currently, the ISMF, the International Ski Mountaineering Federation World Championships are going on in Morgine, France right now. And there are quite a few Nordic skiers that have switched over from Nordic skiing to skimo, to ski mountaineering, which will be an Olympic sport in 2026 in Milan Cortina, which will be pretty exciting. But it is really interesting to see. And when I started backcountry skiing, I had been skiing on these little skinny skis, and just to get edges and to get sort of alpine control, when you're in the backcountry was just super fun to me. And so one of the reasons why I fell in love with it.
I love it. Okay, so this is really interesting because now we talk about backcountry skiing and we've talked about skimo, and skimo is going to be an Olympic sport. And then we also talked about Nordic skiing. Tell me the difference between backcountry skiing and skimo.
Man, you just opened up a can of worms. There's so many adjectives that, I mean, as you know, like snow has so many words that are used to describe snow because it comes in so many forms. Well, backcountry skiing has the same affliction because there's, randonnée, backcountry, skimo, alpine touring, and I think the list could go on with, another 10 or 12. But I think skimo is actually short for ski mountaineering. It is technically racing. There are several disciplines to ski mountaineering that have morphed over the last few years, and some are, made for Olympic TV coverage too that we'll be able to see, which is just a mixed relay and a sprint. So there's also a vertical race and an individual race, and the typical individual race that like you have done. I know you've done some ski mountaineering racing and did, what's the race in Utah that's Powder Keg, which is such an amazing course and race and group of people. But that is, ski mountaineering racing. And so that's technically skimo. I would say backcountry skiing is, the art of slowing it down a little bit and using a little bit heavier equipment and enjoying both the getting up the mountain and getting down the mountain in a safe, fun way to do it all. But I think just taking it back a few steps, maybe using some wider skis and enjoying the ride and day a little bit more. But that's, to me, like my differences.
I think that's a really good overview, not to be confused with ski mountaineering. Like if you want to go ski the Tetons and you want to get like some ropes and, put some crampons and ice axes in them.
Yeah, then there's that. Right.
There's that, which is like ski mountaineering, but not skimo. So anyway, it's all confusing, but
it's funny you bring that up because there's kind of a movement going on called Save Skimo right now because people are a little pissed that what the world is going to see in skimo is this whitewashed version of ski mountaineering. And what you just described of moving in the mountains in rugged terrain using ropes and crampons and skins and skis and being able to get access to this, really cool terrain is what ski mountaineering is all about. And what you'll see in the Olympics is like this, handcrafted, sculpted course that has stairs. Like when do you encounter stairs in the backcountry? You don't. And so anyway, Save Skimo is out there right now. And I think it's, sort of a movement that, people are trying to keep the tradition of what ski mountain really is alive.
Interesting. So tell me more about Hagan Skis. It's been around for 100 years, which is amazing. Tell me what Hagan was 100 years ago. What did those skis look like? Were they wood?
That's awesome because Hagan was founded by two brothers in Upper Austria. They made wagon wheels in the early 80s, and in 1924, automobile came out, and they weren't making as many wagon wheels, but they could really shape wood, and they shaped wood into skis. So that was the beginning of Hagan as a brand in skiing. Since the 90s, it's been 100% focused on pure backcountry. So no alpine skis, no real cross-country skis to speak of, but everything focused on pure ski mountaineering is the tagline. But it's family-owned. It's in its third generation. I went to visit with the third-generation family members. They're amazing people. Austrians are super nice. People are known worldwide for being nice people. I am very lucky to work with such wonderful people that really just want to grow the sport. The U.S. market for Hagan is an important one. It's one of something like 37 worldwide distributorships that are out there right now. And, it's not like we make a ton of skis. I mean, we make 20,000 pairs a year. So it's not a huge number of skis like you might see from, a Salomon or a Dynafit or, that are making a couple zeros past that number of skis that they're putting out. But it's with a lot of focus. I laugh because the skis are really meticulously tuned and they are designed, in Austria, made in Austria, and they're really tuned to go downhill. I mean, so you being an alpine skier would love to ski on these skis because they rip. I mean, these skis are meant to really perform, but they're typically lighter and typically narrower in kind of the Euro fashion or Euro ski mountaineering fashion. Our skis are typically narrow, typically a little lighter than most skis that are out there. I've looked at some of the horrific, terrible marketing that they've done in the past, and it's like one of the taglines was something like Hagan for advanced skiers that want to advance more. And I'm like, that's the worst tagline I've ever heard. But it's typically, it's a good ski that can make good skiers even better. We do have an entry line too, so we don't, leave that out of the lineup. We have a line called Pure, which are kind of easy skiing skis, a little softer skiing, a little more forgiving ski, that if you're just learning how to backcountry ski is a great place to start too. So it's...
And you guys have bindings and boots and a whole bunch of other...
Yeah, I mean, it's a full lineup of skis, boots, bindings, poles, and skins. So it's all with mostly an Austrian focus. I mean, all of our stuff, our ski equipment all comes out of Austria, skis and poles. Our boots are made in Italy by Roxa. Bindings are made by ATK, also in Italy. But everything else is, the skins are Arcola, Austrian company. And so they stick really with what they've, the business relationships that have worked well for them in the past and continue to grow and be successful. It's an amazing product. When we get people demoing skis, 50% of people that demo our skis buy them.
Wow.
So this weekend
speaks for itself.
Yeah, if you can get people on them, they buy them. So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah. So that's super interesting because, skiing is one of those sports where it's like, you can buy skis online, but you can't really test them. And then even if you go to a store, you can't go to a store and buy a pair of skis and then return them because they don't work for you because you drilled bindings in them, you drilled holes in them. You can't be like, sorry, I'm returning these. You can sell them on a used marketplace, something like that, right? But, so
a huge market, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. But where I kind of want to take this is skiing is fascinating because it's an old school model similar to cycling and biking, where boots on the ground, retail stores, retail partners are so important, right? If I'm me and I want to go buy a mountain bike or want to buy a pair of skis, I'm going to go to Ski Moco or down to the local bike shop and see the skis, and I'm going to talk to the salesperson. They're going to talk to me, right? So there's that model, but then there's also this direct to consumer model where now I can go on HaganSkiMountaineering.com and my friend could tell me at a ski race, I love these skis. These are the ones I have. I could see them use them and I could buy them. How do you guys approach this old school kind of retail model with this new direct to consumer model? You mentioned you're mostly direct to consumer, but then also you're trying to get in more retail stores and build those relationships too.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, when we bought the business, 60% was direct consumer, 40% was retailer. So we're trying to flip that. We are in the process of actually doing that. When we bought the business, there was 9 ski shops that were carrying our brand around the country. We're at 22 now. So we really, like you, feel strongly in that this is more traditional, where you need to touch the skis, you need to see the skis, you need to demo the skis. So you have to really have the boots on the ground to be able to deliver that experience, in the markets that we do well in the ski mountaineering markets. Although I did just hear that 2 ski mountains in Twin Cities area, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, are now have these uphill Fridays, and the Midwest is embracing uphill skiing. So I think that's the next frontier to get people. So many people are skiing inbounds because it's safe and, they want some fitness out of it too. And so I think that's a really cool thing that's also happening. But back to your question about, the direct consumer versus the retailer model, you have to do both. I mean, the times have changed. You do have to adapt. There's a huge pro market out there with, Outdoor Pro Link and Outdoorly and all these pro sites that you can't ignore. That you want those types of people on your product, that you have to deliver it to them or someone else will. But at the same time, you have to be very creative and diligent in working with the retailers, to work with them to do demos, to work with them to get people on, the Hagan skis that are on their wall so they can sell and move. But at the same time, those guys are working on merchandising, on, sometimes people will buy skis online, but they won't buy bindings or boots online because they need to be fit, they need to be mounted. And a good shop can upsell and cross-sell, someone that's coming in to, get a pair of skis. And there's a glut. I mean, right now there's so many pairs of skis at such low prices available online right now. And we have ours marked down on older models only, but have to maintain, standard, recommended retail price throughout the season to be able to do that and to work with the retailers to keep that model intact so everyone can win. But it's a difficult balance to work with. We have found that we are really successful with the shops that want to work with us. We've got a new shop in Steamboat, Colorado called Ride Workshop. They're a bike shop in the summer, and in the winter they're leading ski tours now, and their model is apparently 50% of the people that go on their tours by bike buy bikes, and the same model is holding true in the wintertime. 50% of the skiing people that go on their tours are buying ski gear from them, and they've been really successful with it. So it's been kind of interesting to see different models evolve around how people are actually selling gear. But that particular shop has grown tremendously from zero to, one of our best shops around the country.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we can all agree that global weirding is a real thing. And right, like you can't ski without snow. And so I'm curious if Hagan has any thoughts on environmental responsibility and ensuring that we're going to still be able to enjoy this thing that we love for years to come.
Yes. No, I mean, Becca, that's such an important question. Right now in the valleys of Austria, there's no snow. They've had a really crappy, you have to go up really high to get good snow where they normally could tour from the valley floors. And they don't have snow there right now. And it's, the beginning of March. There should be a ton of snow there. One of the projects that Hagan has been working on is to create a sustainable ski. Not only do you create a sustainable ski by making a durable ski and ski that lasts a long time and sort of can be passed on and continually skied until it eventually, is waste product. But this idea was to create a ski that could be sourced all within, I think it was 100 kilometers of the factory in Austria. And so everything about the ski was, every single product had to be originally harvested, processed, and sourced within that 100-kilometer radius of the factory in Upper Austria. And apparently this project went down, was happening, and it got down to where it became so expensive to get certain parts, and whether it's metal for your edges or carbon fiber for stiffening the ski or poplar or caruba wood, which wasn't really the problem. The wood was not really the issue. It was more of the more technical products that became so cost prohibitive to actually create a ski and keep the ski priced, so it was still available and could be purchased by, the average consumer and not at, such exorbitant prices to really make the whole project a failure. I think it's great that we tried it. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I think we're still working on it. I think it's still a work in progress. And this was actually one of those projects that was done in sort of honor of the 100-year anniversary of Hagan Heritage, 1924 to 2024. But it's a really difficult thing to do in today's day and age, is to produce a ski, all sourced, so close to the factory at a reasonable cost to get to the end consumer.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So is there anything else that the brand has done, like any partnerships or any kind of like, founding principles or just things that you guys believe in on that
Yeah, I
vein?
mean, I think sustainability and doing our best to have the least amount of impact on the environment as possible. Everything from protect our winters to invest and partner with POW with Protect Our Winters Austria, in investing in waxes and adhesives for skins that are more biosensitive, to make sure that every impact that we have, when we're out in these sensitive areas of the backcountry, that we are leaving no trace, and that we can do our best to make sure that the products last as long as humanly possible, to make the least amount of impact on the environment wherever we go. But it's something we think about and we try to promote and to work on and invest in regularly. Everyone from Austria that we're doing in back at our corporate headquarters, to the plant and the factory there, to what we're doing.
That's a wrap
and how we
on this
package and
episode of the
deliver,
Après Business Podcast.
use,
If you
the
got value
most
from today's
sustainable
conversation,
packaging that we
make sure to
can,
subscribe so you never miss an
direct,
insight-packed
to
episode.
consumer,
If you're feeling generous, leave us a review.
direct-to-retailer
It helps
methods
more
that
business
are
builders
most
like you
efficient,
find the show.
and
Got a story or a question you'd love us to cover? Connect with us at followlinedigital.com or reach out to us at podcast@followlinedigital.com. We can't wait to hear from you. Until then, keep pushing forward, keep learning, and don't forget to enjoy the journey.
Right? Like you bought it at a really good time where I feel like the business and the sport had already went through that like huge boom and pop and was probably more stable, I'm guessing. You could tell me more about that. But yeah, it seems like, Eskimo's here. It's here to stay. Like you said, people are like obsessed. Like every time I go up to the Brighton races or Solitude races, I can't believe how many people are just so excited to get out there, get their fitness in, ski in headlamps, bomb down hills, right? It's just like, it's such a cool thing. And like you said, it's growing in the Midwest now. I don't know how many laps you need to do to get like 1,000 feet of vert. That'd be interesting. Probably 200 feet per.
I mean, some of their hills are pretty good. They're 1,000+ vert.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we have, here in Boulder, above Boulder, Netherland, Eldora ski area. It's about 1,000 vertical. And I mean, we get 300 people on our community uphill Fridays checking in to ski before the lift starts spinning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. 300+ people. It's super social.
That's it for part 1 of our conversation with Mike Hogan from Hagan Skis North America. We've covered a lot, like building a brand in a niche industry, balancing pricing with sustainability, and the importance of retail partnerships. But we're not done yet. In part 2, we'll dive into ways to build trust with transparency and communication, creating authentic brand content, and business strategies for balancing premium perceptions with scale. So make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. That's a wrap on this episode of the Après Business Podcast. If you got value from today's conversation, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an insight-packed episode. If you're feeling generous, leave us a review. It helps more business builders like you find the show. Got a story or a question you'd love us to cover? Connect with us at followlinedigital.com. That's FALLLINEDIGITAL.com. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep learning, and don't forget to enjoy the journey.